Hi everyone, John Cottrell here of MBODY Yoga. Welcome. This is Soft Flow. This is a 60-minute gentle yoga practice. So glad you can join me. So for our practice today, I've got a number of props here. So let me just get to the props, then I'll tell you what we're going to be focusing on today. Our normal props that we typically use, and of course that's always a blanket or just something soft that you can sit on. And usually a couple of blocks or just something stackable. It could be a couple of blocks or books, something hardbound that's firm. And maybe a big pillow. That might come in handy for just one of the poses that we're doing today. So a big cushion, pillow, something like that. You can also use that to sit on. And the additional things, maybe a strap, a yoga strap, or something that resembles a yoga strap. So if you need to run and go get one of those, go ahead and do that. That could be a belt, a jump rope, something like that, like the belt around your bathrobe, something like that. Okay, and then you can see I have my chair just right at the end of my mat right here. So the chair for me is going to be acting like a wall or a table, something that you can use for balance. Okay, so that might just be just a table or a chair right next to you that you can just hold on to when we do some of the balancing that we're going to be doing today. Okay, so let me just move my chair out of the way for a moment. And so for our practice today, I've called this class Extensions and Inversions. Extensions and inversions. So in extensions just means we're going to be doing some leg stretching, okay? Some extension of the legs, well actually just not your legs, just upper body as well. And the inversions just means that we're going to be getting upside down, okay? Just something that will take us where our feet and legs will be extending upward in the air, okay? So for our practice, we always like to begin in seated, so find a comfortable seat, and that of course can be on your soft folded blanket or towel or even your pillow. We begin with breath. So as you settle in, just make sure you're sitting up nice and tall, a nice extended spine. You might just take a deep breath in and a complete release out. A couple times like that just to get reacquainted with your breathing. A reminder that breath is the foundation of our practice, helps us to be really connected and fully aware, helps us to be here so that we are not distracted by outside things or thoughts. We can really just pay attention to what's going on inside of ourselves. Find yourself in stillness as best as you can. Slow, steady breaths. Deepening this connection. As you're able, just breathe in a way that you can hear your breath. So you might need to turn up the volume of your breath. Allowing you to focus in on that gentle sound. And also breathe in a way where you can feel your breath. Be aware of how your body is responding to your breath. For example, when you breathe in, you want to feel like your breath is rising upward and filling up your lungs. Very expansive, opening even. And then when you exhale, I'm going to draw your navel inward towards your spine. Just a light contraction or engagement of your abdominal muscles. Just drawing inward. Nothing too strong or strenuous. Just an awareness of your center body. Now these sensations, this awareness and even the sound of breath, just helps us to be really connected and aware. Fully in the moment, focusing on our intentions for our practice. So again, as you breathe in, just feel the lengthening of your spine as breath rises to fill up your lungs. And a slow and controlled exhale, connecting to your center. Go ahead and take 3 more breaths like that. We're going to add a very simple movement, stepping into our moving meditation. When you're ready, and inhale to extend your arms out across the room. Reach as if you're going to touch the sides of the room or the walls on either side of you, reaching all the way up like you're going to touch the ceiling. Then exhale, extend your arms out, reaching with a little bit of effort as you let your arms float back down by your side. Do that again. And inhale to reach out. Good extension to start to feel the energy in your arms, hands right out through your fingertips. And exhale, reaching outward again as you let your arms come back down. Now go ahead and continue on your own, breathing and moving at your own pace. So you don't have to follow me necessarily, you're just tuning in. You might even close your eyes for this. Just tuning into your own breathing, the feeling, the sound, and then paying attention to the movement of your arms. It's as if you're filling up a helium balloon. Your arms just want to float right up. And then that slow release as your arms float back down. As you reach into the air, feel the energy in your arms, but also that lengthening down through the sides of your body. When you exhale, continue to draw a belly button in towards your spine. Finish the breath that you're on right now and take 2 more breaths. And when you're complete, just bring your arms down by your side, just resting in your lap perhaps. And just return to the sensation of breath. Good. While still seated, go ahead and take your hands behind you. Maybe just propped up onto your fingertips with your arms back here. You also want to feel your shoulders gently draw back as well. We're just really opening up through the upper chest region. And just tip the chin up a little bit, so it creates a lot more space here in the upper body. When you breathe in, just a little pressure of your fingertips into the floor, like you're pushing into the mat. As you inhale and just feel the breath rising to fill up your lungs. And feel that stretch quality across your chest from shoulder to shoulder. Very fulfilling. And then as you exhale, draw your belly button in towards spine, that light engagement. And if you're able, just a bit of a squeeze of the shoulder blades together behind you. You're just trying to actually just draw your shoulders kind of back and like inward towards your spine. See if you can make that happen. We're just in a seated, mild back bend, just an opening of the heart. 2 more breaths. And then just lower your chin to relax the neck. Walk your hands towards yourself so you're sitting up nice and tall. You can just let your arms relax in your lap again. Since that was our back bend, let's take a gentle forward fold. So here, if your legs are crossed, we're going to uncross the legs and come to bound angle pose or cobbler's pose, where the soles of the feet touch here, knees bent, a nice opening for the legs and hips. Here you might want to use a couple of blocks or books or even some small pillows, if you'd like, just to tuck underneath the legs so they rest right there on those props. Go ahead and hold on to your ankles or shins. Then an inhale to sit up as tall as you can. Exhale, draw belly in for support. Start to hinge forward just a tiny bit. You're really being led by your heart and chin. Just a tiny bit here, so you can see I'm at a mild angle, hinging forward from the hips. And even just hold here. This may not be much, and it doesn't have to be much at all. I'm going to go a little bit further just so I can tap into the inner thighs to get a little bit more of a stretch. But not too much, because I want to be able to certainly sense that sensation, have that feeling, but not like I'm forcing it. Now you can certainly go a little lower, but what I might suggest is lowering your chin a little bit, maybe rounding your back, and then you can go down a little bit more Again, not forcing or pushing yourself into the pose, and certainly not going too fast. You want to be able to hold here for a good period of time, and you would feel relatively comfortable here. So you can just easily focus on the breath. The body can still relax as it's stretching, releasing, especially in parts of the body that might feel a little tight or just need a little attention. Let's go ahead and take 3 more breaths. And if you did lower your chin to round your back a little bit, go ahead and lift the chin. Just look out in front of you to help re-extend your spine. And just hinge your way back up so you're nice and tall. Or for a little assist, you can just press your hands into the floor to help rise back up until you're nice and tall. Just hold here for a moment. And we're going to stay seated for one more pose. I'm going to scoot back a little bit here. Because what you'll do is come out of the cobbler's pose and just extend the legs right here. Just stretch them out, just straight out in front. You can continue to sit on your blanket or pillow here. Hands by your hips on the floor. Just push into the mat to help you grow nice and tall. So we have this nice L shape or 90 degrees in the body. Legs are as straight as can be. Flex the feet just to give energy in the legs. This is our first extension, really. Getting that stretch through the hamstrings. So what we'll do to give a little bit more sensation in the backs of the legs, we'll inhale, grow tall, feel lifted. Exhale, pull belly in and just hinge for a tiny bit. That's as far as we're going to go right now. We're going to go a little bit deeper later. Okay, but this is just a slight hinge. That way you can keep the legs activated, straight and strong, flexed feet. And again, you want to be at a place where, yeah, I can hold this for a little bit, and I can feel what's happening in the legs. All right, 2 more breaths here. This is actually called staff pose. We're going to hinge our way back up. You can kind of relax the legs, even shake them out a little bit. We'll get ready for our next posture, which is we're going to come to our hands and knees. So just take your time and just manipulate your body in a safe way to come to hands and knees. Here's where you might want to use your blanket or towel, maybe unfold it so you've got some padding for your knees and hands, like so, a little tabletop. And ready for cat and cow. So we're going to inhale and just lift head and heart, a little arching of the back, the pelvis tips back, the belly kind of drops a little. And it creates this back bend. Exhale, let's round it out. Chin towards chest, belly button pulls up towards spine, and feel the curvature of the spine. Inhale to reverse it, pelvis tips back, belly drops, heart opens, look forward. Exhale, tuck tailbone underneath, pull belly button up towards spine, round the spine, chin to chest. Very gentle, simple flow here. Just getting some fluidity throughout the spine. Mobility in the hips. All right, finish the breath that you're on and just take 2 more. Taking your time with this. Make sure you're breathing to activate movement in your body. And then we'll just pause in this little tabletop position for a couple seconds. And let's get ready for our first inverted pose, inversion, where we actually turn upside down. Now, don't be too alarmed because it's a pose that we always do. It's downward facing dog. I like to consider it an inverted pose because the head is pointing down. Even though your legs aren't in the air necessarily, your head is pointing downward. To get set up, go ahead and step your hands forward a little bit, even spread out your fingers just to create a good foundation for the hands, but also to stretch the palms and between each finger. Press into the mat, flattening the palms, but giving good energy in the arms. We have a stable foundation. Tuck your toes under. Let's do one more cat and cow, starting with cow. That's the inhale, where we kind of look up, create the back bend. Exhale, round it out. Hold that. Be sure you tucked your toes, and then lift your knees, then your hips into the air. Your head dips down as the hips lift up. There's our inverted posture. Downward facing dog. Couple breaths here, just to experience being upside down.
Now, since we're already looking down, you're just going to step your feet forward, maybe just to the center of your mat, or just to a place where your feet feel flat on the ground. Right here underneath you, you might need to slide your hands or fingertips toward your toes. So we're here in forward fold. We're going to slide the hands with an inhale up to the shins or knees and extend the spine so you're flat and long like a table. Let's hold here. Be sure the knees have a good bend in them, okay, so you don't lock out the knees. That way your core body can engage to help you hold this posture. Your hamstrings are also naturally engaged in this posture. There's an energy moving through the crown of your head or the very, very top of your head, pointing and moving forward, while your tailbone feels like it's reaching towards the back of the room. Let's get ready to stand up all the way by shifting the weight entirely into your heels. Bend your knees a bit more like you're going to sit down. Maybe take your arms out to the side, then stand up, reach up into the air. Big stretch there at the top, and exhale, bring your arms down by your side. Right there. Good. Take a moment just to shake out the shoulders or just create some circles. Because we're going to be doing some extending with the arms as well. So make sure the shoulders are nice and loose. You can kind of work down the body, maybe through the elbows, wrists, and fingers. Down the body, maybe a little hip side to side or some circles with the hips. Check in with your knees, ankles, and your feet. And then just make your way back to a mountain pose where we come to stillness. We're going to go through our half salute to the sun. Basically, we're just going to fold forward and come back up. Okay, let me just quickly adjust my mat, and we'll go ahead and hop right into that. Here we go. Inhale, extend your arms into the air. So there's that extension, extended mountain pose. Reaching up. Exhale, spread your wings. Bend your knees and feel like you're sitting back into an imaginary chair, like that. Slowly coming down. Go slowly because that's really going to activate your muscles in the body to help you stabilize. Inhale, slide your hands up to the shins or knees, extending your spine. We're going to hold here on the exhale. Make sure there's still a bend in the knees. Hold for another breath. Then a weight shift into the heels, bend your knees, feel like you're going to sit, look forward, take your arms out to the side. A nice inhale to stand up even taller, reach up, extended mountain pose. And then exhale, bring your arms back down by your side. Excellent, you can even shake that out one more time. All right, let's get into our Warrior One variation, where we get into a lunge, but it's a mild version of Warrior One. Coming to the top of the mat, let's put a slight bend in the knees, soften the knees. Start shifting your weight into your right foot so it feels really plugged in to the ground. Start to hinge forward or lean forward just a little bit. You might even feel your right foot, the toes kind of grip your mat. But then start tapping the left foot back. Heel will be lifted so you flex toes. You need to turn or pivot the heel to the floor, shift your whole body back so you're right here in your center. And there's our lunge. Place your hands on your hips, push your pelvis downward as you stand as tall as you can through the torso, providing space along the belt line and turn to face mostly forward. We'll inhale, take the arms up into the air, more extension through the arms, but this exhale, bend the elbows to about 90 degrees like this, and just hold here. So this is our variation of Warrior One, just so we get used to standing with our feet apart in a lunge fashion, with the arms in the air. Go ahead and inhale and shoot the arms straight up again towards the ceiling. Exhale, bring the arms down, place them on your hips. Lean forward or put some weight into this front foot so we can just kind of peel away from the floor with the left foot and step forward, so feet together. Inhale, rise up tall, reach into the sky, extended mountain once again. Exhale, arms return to your side. So a very simple flow, our Warrior One variation. Ready for the other side? Some softness in the knees. Shifting weight into left foot, root and connect. Lean forward just a tiny bit, feel the gripping of the mat with your toes, and start tapping or stepping the right foot back. Toes are flexed, heel lifted. Pivot or turn that heel to the floor. By foot turn, that's what I mean by pivot and turn. And then you'll shift and kind of sit right here in your center so you feel pretty balanced. Hands on hips, push pelvis down. While you're pushing down, feel the torso get tall. Lots of nice space in the midline as you now face forward. Inhale, extend the arms straight up into the air. We'll soften that with an exhale, bend elbows to 90 degrees. Hold here, facing forward. And just take a couple of breaths. There is a good There is a bend in this left knee. That's fine. Perfect. Now inhale and take the arms straight up into the air. Exhale, bring the arms down, hands to hips. Lean forward, put weight into this front foot. So we can step the right foot forward, feet together. Inhale, stand up tall. Reach into the air. Good. Exhale, arms come down to your side. Perfect. Shake all that out. Okay, let's get into some more movement. Our sun salutation. Of course, we like to break it down and take our time. Whenever you're ready, inhale, sweep your arms up into the air. Exhale, spread your wings, bend your knees, sit back into your imaginary chair, folding, slowly, slowly, taking your time. Good muscle work. Maybe touching your toes if you're able. Inhale, slide your hands up to your shins or knees, extending the spine. Now on this exhale, fold, going lower, bend the knees more around your back, getting low enough so you can place your hands on your mat and start walking or stepping both of your feet back, right there to the back end of your mat. Straighten out the body, plank pose. Just for a second, inhale. Exhale, bend your knees like you're going to kneel onto the floor, but send your hips up into the air, returning to our inverted pose, downward facing dog. Here's another inversion. This is when we take a leg up into the air. So we'll inhale, lift the right foot, and hold it there. See if we can hold that for a few seconds. This, of course, is another inversion. We do have at least one foot in the air, certainly not a handstand. We have a leg in the air. Breathe in again. Exhale, bend the right knee. Bring the knee in underneath you toward your chest or chin, shifting your whole upper body forward so your shoulders are over your wrists. You'll set your right foot down, just your toes. Flexed foot is fine. Set the left knee down onto the floor. This will allow you to take your right hand, literally go and pick up your right foot and step it up higher on your mat, near the right hand. Let's re-lift the left knee. We'll pivot or turn the left heel so it's planted into the floor here so the foot is turned outward. Weight is probably forward, so we need to shift the weight back so there's more pressure in that back foot. Okay, we're going to the second version of Warrior One. Rise to your fingertips to help you extend your spine so it's really straight here. Then hinge from hips and feel like you're opening the lid of a box. Then rise up, reach into the air. We're going to pause here in Warrior One so you can just experience the second variation. So more distance between the feet here, arms straight up. Okay, breathe in again. Exhale, turn your torso towards the left side of the room as your arms come down to parallel. Adjust the feet if you need to, just so you feel sturdy and strong and balanced. And here's an arm extension, okay, another arm extension. The first ones have been straight up, now they're straight across. Reach, reach. That's it. Now we're taking side angle pose. So you're going to reach forward to angle the upper half of the body. Rotate your arm so your right hand comes down, left hand will go up into the air. Start here, so the left hand's reaching towards the 12 on an imaginary clock, but then start reaching over your head. Okay, just like this, more at an angle. So we can get this extension. And this is actually the full name of this posture is extended side angle pose. So a nice reaching, energetic movement, okay, as you're reaching through this left arm. Extended side angle pose. Breathe in. Exhale, we're going to carefully turn the torso. Now I need to lift to kind of unlock in the hips so you can easily turn to face the floor and then fold. Bring hands down to the mat. Rise up onto tiptoes behind you. I call this a runner's lunge. Press hands firmly into the floor. Strong hands and arms so you can slide the right foot back. Plank pose, but then set both knees on the floor. Okay, quick little break. Tuck your toes. Sit back a little bit, which I call half hero, just so you can take the hands off the ground, like this. We're going to do a little counter stretch for the wrist. What I like to do is do these little pulses on the back of the hand into the mat. Very soft, okay? Because you had all that pressure in the flexed hands. Let's just counter it in the other way. Because we're going to do something else on our hands and knees, another extension. It's called Spinal Balance. Okay, so let's come back out to hands and knees. Let's situate ourselves so we can Get a sense that our shoulders are right over the wrists and the hips are over the knees. Now, I'm leaning over to my right side, okay, so I can extend my left leg. I'm basically just lifting the knee off the floor, okay, but I'm straightening the leg, okay? And then a little shift of weight into my left hand so I can extend the right arm forward. And this is how we'll do our spinal balance. Typically we would lift that back foot, but for balance and stability, we're going to hold here. So really reach through the hand forward like you're trying to reach for the wall out in front of you. And then the left heel is doing the same, but reaching behind you. Let's breathe in, reach. Exhale, let's bring that hand and knee back down to the ground. Let's go back to our half hero, tuck your toes, sit back. And since the pressure was in that left hand, we want to counter stretch. You can do it into the floor or just tops of the hands here. You can also do a gentle circle of the wrists and wiggle your fingers, okay? Anytime you feel like, oh, that's a lot of pressure on my wrist. Perfectly fine to rest. Okay, let's go back to downward facing dog because we have the other side to do. Step your hands forward on the mat, spread out your fingers, press palms into the floor, strong arms, tuck toes. Okay, we're going to inhale cow, that's the back bend. Exhale cat, that's the rounded spine. Lift your knees, lift your hips into the air. Inverted pose, downward facing dog. Let's continue that inversion with an inhale to extend the left leg up into the air. It doesn't have to reach towards the ceiling, it's just off the ground. Just energetically reach through your toes. Inhale. Exhale, bend the left knee, bring it in underneath you towards your chest or chin, shifting forward. Shoulders will align over the wrists. Go ahead and set the left foot down. Now, if it doesn't make it up to the hand, that's okay. Just set it down. Set the right knee down. This gives you an opportunity to literally go pick up the left foot, step it up higher on the mat. Relift the right knee. Pivot or turn that right heel to the ground. Make sure that there's balance, centering, more pressure in that back foot. Rise up onto fingertips so you can extend the spine. We're making the lid of that box. And then we'll inhale to open the lid of the box. Extending both arms up into the sky. Exhale, lunge. Just hold here a couple breaths so we can experience our second version of Warrior One on this left side. Notice where you have sensation. There's a little bit of balance involved here since there's more distance between the feet. Let's breathe in. Exhale, turn your torso now towards the right side of the room. Arms come down to parallel. Continue reaching. Okay, they're just not arbitrarily up. They're going somewhere. Reach. Okay? Opposite directions here. Now let's follow the left arm forward to angle the upper half of the body like you're reaching out to grab something. And then rotate your arms here. Reach high, reach low. Now you can go lower. Your left hand could touch the ground or bring in a stack of books or blocks if you want, but not necessary. I like to stay up high in this pose. The right hand, you might start reaching over your head a little bit to angle it, like so. And here's our extended side angle pose. So a little extra reach through that right hand. And to complete that extension, feel your right foot press a little bit more firmly into the ground. Breathing in. Our exhale to carefully turn, fold and bend, hands to the ground, rise up onto tiptoes behind you, runner's lunge. Pressing firmly into the floor with the hands, a little lift of the hips if you're able, just so the left foot is a little lighter so it's easy to step back. Plank pose. Bring knees to the floor, keep toes tucked, half hero, just so you can take a quick rest if you need it. Okay? Off the hands, counter stretch. Okay? And then we'll do our spinal balance. Hands on the floor in front. Shoulders are over the wrists. Just check in, just kind of look at your own body. Knees are below the hips. We're leaning over to the left side now. So we can extend the right leg back, keep the toes on the floor for a little stability. It's like a little anchor back there, but the leg is straight. Lean into the right hand so you can lift the left hand and reach it forward. So there's our spinal balance. Reaching with the left hand. Forward, reaching through your right heel to the back of the room. lengthen, get longer. There's a lot of balance and strength. A lot of core work is actually happening right here too. Let's breathe in. And the exhale to bring left hand and right knee back down to the floor. Sit back, tuck toes, half hero. Let's stretch out that right wrist as you need it. Okay? We'll circle of the wrists. And then go ahead and sit off to the side. So you can swing the legs around to the front. You want to sit in the center of your mat. Before you lie down, be sure you've got maybe a stack of blocks or even a big cushion nearby, okay? Or your books. I'm going to adjust my mat and then go ahead and lie down. When you lie down, feel free to bring knees into chest here. Give me a little massage for the back, just adding a little movement. I like to rock left and right a few times, create a few circles, some figure eights, and even a little movement in the ankles, just like we did the wrists. Okay, go ahead and do the same with the ankles. Make some circles, flex the feet, point your toes. Okay, just think about if you wear like boots or shoes, you know, high heel shoes or even tennis shoes, you know, like all day, you know, just think how stiff your feet are because they get stuck in one position. Okay, let's go ahead and set the feet down. Knees bent, moving into bridge pose. Make sure you got your blocks handy or books. Take a nice full breath in, fill up your lungs. Exhale, engage your center, and just lift your hips high enough so you can slide your books or blocks underneath you and then just sit. Okay, we're going to hold here. Make some adjustments with the feet if you need to, even your upper body. So you can feel pretty comfortable here. Again, another pose where you can just settle in, relax. What's nice about this variation of the pose is we're sitting, and so you don't have to engage too much of the body. So you probably can hold this. Take some nice deep breaths. This is also a nice counter pose. Just like we were counter stretching the wrists after being flexed, we did the other direction. This is the same for the body. We know we sit a lot. We fold, we bend over, we fold forward more so than we back bend, right? And so this is the mild back bend to open up the front side of the body. Let's take 3 more breaths. We are going to be coming back to this pose a little bit later. This is just a little initiation. And then press feet into the ground. Lift your hips so you can remove the blocks. Slowly come back down to the floor. Let's extend the body again. Extend the legs out front. Even point your toes, reaching through your toes, and then reach behind you with your arms, lengthening as if you're moving in these opposite directions. Go ahead and hug both knees into chest. You can add some more movement here if you want. A little massage. You're going to come up to seated. Either rock your way straight up to seated, or what I'm going to do is just roll to one side, press hands into the floor, and just lift. Okay, we're going to go back to the staff pose. Now here you might want to use your strap, okay, because we're going to take a deeper forward fold here. And you can also sit on something soft. If you want to go back to sitting on your blanket or towel, that's fine. Alrighty, and then go ahead and take your strap or belt, whatever you've got. You're going to wrap it around the soles of the feet, right? Just like this. This just kind of takes the place of reaching out to actually touch your toes, because you don't have to touch your toes. Holding onto the strap, and the elbows kind of soft bend here. Elbows are kind of at the rib cage, and a little pull of the strap so you're sitting up nice and tall. Just returning to that nice L shape. Breathe in to get even taller. Exhale, pull belly in. Another tug of the strap to send your heart and chin forward. Now, this is going to be about the same as we did the first time, okay? Where we're just hinging a little bit, feeling some sensation, keeping the legs as straight as possible, but we can change this, okay? So what I invite you to do, if you'd like, is to put a little bend or a big bend in the knees. You can even tuck something underneath. If you've got a smaller towel, for example. Actually, let me see if I can get my blocks underneath. This might work. Something like this, just to maintain the bend, okay? And to support it. Knees are bent, and then you maybe can fold a little bit deeper and just walk your hands down the strap a little bit towards the feet. Excuse me. Just hinging forward a little bit. Still feeling that stretch in the hamstrings. And because the back is probably rounded a little stretch along the back body. Let's take 3 more breaths. After that 3rd breath, and slowly rise back up. We can remove the strap. We are going to be using that strap again, so just keep it nearby. I'm going to move my props here. Let's come back to cobbler's pose where you bend the knees, soles of the feet together. Just sit up nice and tall like so. Good. Okay, we're going to come back to hands and knees. Just swing the legs back behind you or just carefully return to hands and knees. And then back to down dog. So you might step the hands forward, set that all up. Make sure you have nice strong arms, tuck your toes. You can even do cat-cow once again, ending in cat. So you can lift knees and hips, downward facing dog. We're just going to return to a standing position. So step the feet forward towards the center of your mat. Feet are flat. Slide fingers towards your toes if you need to. Inhale, rise up halfway and hold. Solid and strong right here. More weight shift into the heels. Bend your knees, look forward. Take your arms out to the side. Standing up, reaching towards the ceiling. So there's another nice extension. Exhale, arms down by your side. Perfect. Shake that out. Hopefully you didn't lose that strap. Get that strap again. I'm actually going to pull in my chair. So you might want to stand near a table, a wall, because we are going to do a little balancing. We're going to be using the strap. We're just going to be doing a leg extension out to the side. Okay? So I'm going to see if I can mirror you. So get your strap. You're going to place it underneath your right foot. And so maybe your left hand is on that table or chair or wall just to brace yourself. Okay? Now, like I said, we're going to take the leg out to the side. But don't worry, my arm is out here. Don't worry about getting the leg that far. You'll see what happens, okay? So we got the strap underneath the right foot. We got the left hand on your table or chair or wall. Put a little softness in the knees. Take a breath. Inhale, get as tall as you can. Exhale, we're going to pick up that foot that's in the strap. Extend the leg forward. Now you can see, well maybe, I don't know if you can see, but I haven't lifted the leg very high, okay? It's really low, but it's straight. And then I'm just going to swing it out to the side. That's all. So that's as high as the leg really needs to go. If you can and want to take it higher, you're welcome to. Just keep checking in with how this feels in your thigh, upper thigh, and your hip, maybe even your low back. If that doesn't feel quite right, lower it. Okay? But just feel that extension. Just you're kind of driving through the heel, okay, of that lifted leg. And over here with the hand on the wall or table, just helping you to get really tall through the spine. And that's our extension. That's all we're doing. Yes, we could take this much higher and up into the air, but not necessary for our soft flow practice. A couple more breaths. Good job. Yes, very strong. You're also gaining strength in the standing leg as well. Okay, let's swing that leg forward once again to finish it. Let's bend the knee and we'll plant the foot into the ground. Let's release the strap. Let's do some nice relief work. Shake all that out, okay? And I'm just going to move my chair to the other side. You can turn around, or if you've got an object on the other side of you, go ahead and get set up for that. There we go. So whenever you're ready, just going to place the strap underneath the left foot now. Basically just coming back to a mountain pose. Your right hand on the table or chair. Steady and strong right there. Okay. A little shift of weight into that right foot. With an exhale, perhaps we're lifting the foot that's in the strap. We're extending it forward. Yes, maybe it could come up to parallel. Doesn't have to. Just straight. Extend it, even if it's low. A little hip opener as the leg kind of swings out to the side, like that. Making sure kind of your belt line or belt buckle, let's imagine you're wearing a belt, is still pointing directly forward. You haven't turned, it's just the leg, which is a nice hip opener. Root down into the floor with that right foot. Feel very tall up top. We've got that left leg kind of kicking out to the side. Again, checking in with the hip flexor or the upper thigh region, the belt line, even your low back. Making sure it doesn't feel like it's being, crunched or collapsed. That's why you want to get nice and tall. That's why the hand on the table or wall is going to help you stabilize. Ooh, I can feel that right leg getting so strong for stabilizing. Okay, let's swing the left leg forward, right there, and bring the foot back down. We are done. Let's go ahead and release the strap. I'm going to toss that to the side. And again, just relieving the whole body. Excellent. So that's our leg extension. I'm going to move my chair out of the way. Okay, go ahead and make your way back to mountain pose. We're going to flow our way down to the floor and get into some more upside down postures. Okay, mountain pose. Take a breath here. Here we go. Inhale, extend your arms up into the air. Extended mountain pose. Exhale, spread your wings, bend your knees. Come on down slowly and carefully, maybe touching your toes. Inhale, slide your hands up to your shins or knees, extending through the spine. I say extend a lot. Exhale, fold, because that's a lot of what we are doing in many of our yoga poses. Folding and bending, bring the hands to the floor. Let's walk or step both feet back. Straighten out the legs and spine. Plank pose. Bend your knees, send hips into the air. Downward facing dog. Let's inhale to lift the right foot into the air. So another leg extension, upside down pose. Exhale, right knee bends. Bring it in underneath you if you're able. Let's get this foot up a little higher near the right hand. It doesn't have to be right up at the hand, just closer. Or do that other variation of picking up the foot and placing it there like we did earlier. Pivot left heel to the floor behind you. Put weight into it. Lengthen through the spine. Hinge from hips. Rise up. Reach into the air. Warrior 1. Exhale. Open it to a warrior 2. I'm going to take a little wider stance here. Arms extended. Side angle. Reach forward. Rotate the arms. Right hand down. Left hand up and overhead at an angle to get into our extended side angle pose. So we're just getting into a good flow here. Breathe in. Exhale, carefully turn. Fold, bend, hands to the ground, up on tiptoes, runner's lunge. Push into the floor, strong arms, slide right foot back, plank. Soft knees, hips into the air, down dog. Inverted pose. Inhale, extend left leg up. Not very high, doesn't have to be high, just lift the foot. Exhale, bend the knee, shift your body forward. Maybe the left foot can land up a little closer to the left hand as you're able. Pick it up and place it if you need to. When you're there, plant right heel down. Rise to fingertips to help extend spine. Inhale, rising, opening the lid of the box, reaching into the sky. And exhale to turn torso towards the right side of the room as your arms extend across the room here. Side angle pose, follow the left arm forward. Rotate the arms, reach high, reach low. Right arm reaching overhead at an angle. Extended side angle pose. Breathe in. And our exhale, we're carefully turning, folding, bending. Plant the hands, rise up onto tiptoes behind you, runner's lunge. Firm press into the floor, strong hands and arms, slide left foot back, plank. Hold here. We'll set knees down. Tuck toes, sit back, half hero. If you need to, okay, decompress those wrists. Okay, then we're going to take a seat. All right, then we're going to bring in those props again. This time, it could be your blocks or a big cushion or books. Your strap. Have them handy. Sit in the center of your mat. Go ahead and roll down onto your back. Just a quick hug of the knees into chest, and then set the feet onto the ground. Make sure you can still grab your blocks and your strap. Press feet into the floor with a good exhale. Lift hips, slide your blocks or that big cushion underneath you. Sit. Settle in. So we're starting in our bridge pose, our supported bridge pose, but we're going to go upside down here. We're going to do one leg at a time and then both legs at the same time. Okay, with one leg at a time, grab a strap. As you're able, carefully, if you can, lift the right foot so you're drawing the knee towards chest. This might take a little maneuvering. Okay, so we can lasso. Oof, I wonder if I can do this. Can you get that strap underneath the right foot? And then extend the leg up into the air. There we are. And because I've got the strap around the foot, I can give it a little tug and get a little extra stretch through the hamstring. Since I can't really reach my foot with my hand, that's why we've got the strap. And then I can maneuver that leg just to get a little extra stretch. Not too long and certainly not too forcefully. Just another breath or two, just to experience this. Okay, and I'm going to bend the knee, release the strap, and then set the foot back down onto the floor. Then we'll do the other side. Hug the left knee in. This takes a little maneuvering. Trying to lasso that foot there, and then extend the leg up into the air. Now, if that knee needs to stay bent, but you still feel a stretch, then you're doing it perfectly. Okay, a nice extension of the leg. Gentle stretch. Don't pull too hard, and certainly don't pull too fast. And you may want to do that with an exhale. So you want to combine the movement with an exhale. So it doesn't feel too forced. It feels like you're relaxing into the pose. Now I know that my left leg isn't as flexible as my right leg, so I know that I've got a bend in this knee, but I can certainly feel the stretch. All right, I'm going to bend the knee again a lot so I can release the strap. We're done with the strap, so set it to the side. Both feet on the floor. And just relax here. Now I'm going to do something. You can stay as you are. Whatever object you're sitting on, stay as you are. I'm going to remove my blocks and pull in my big cushion, because I know some folks really enjoy having something soft underneath them rather than sitting on something too firm like books or blocks. So I'm going to switch my objects out. Okay? So I'm going back to my bridge, but I'm going to get my cushion underneath me. It's lower, but it's softer, and I just feel like I have a little bit more back support. Okay? You can do the same if you want. Okay? Actually, I learned this from one of my students. I just watched them do this, and I said, "Oh, that looks nice. That looks very comfortable," and it really is comfortable. Now that I feel comfortable here, I can extend both legs up into the air. Oh, that is really nice. I'm just settled into the, it's the soft cushion, but it has some firmness to it as well. So it feels supported. And then both legs in the air. You can do this energized, maybe flexing the feet. You can point your toes, legs as straight as can be, even with a little bend. Okay? If you want, add some movement. I usually like to do some bicycle pedaling. Okay, and even move the legs outward and then together. Just whatever you want to do. You can get creative. Or just hold. You can just hold the posture. Okay, this really takes the place of several poses. Another version of this style of posture is actually called legs against the wall. So you really could do this lying on the floor like this with the legs shooting straight up a wall. Perfect pose, and it is a yoga pose. Or something a little bit more dynamic, something like shoulder stand. To make this more of a shoulder stand position, I'd be holding myself in my hands rather than sitting on a cushion, okay? To go even further, I would take my legs all the way up, supporting my back body in my hands. Okay, that would be shoulder stand. Deeper than that, of course, maybe handstand or even headstand. Okay, just something where the legs are up in the air. This is perfect. You don't have to go beyond this. 3 more breaths. Very therapeutic. Just to get upside down, get circulation going. If you have a problem with like swollen ankles or feet, to do this pose, legs against the wall or just legs in the air, this will really, really help. All right, let's bend the knees, set the feet onto the floor, Soften in your bridge pose that's supported. Okay, and then you can lift your hips so you can move your props out from underneath. Move my cushion out there. And then extend the whole body once again. Legs out front, arms behind you. Reach and stretch. Just to release any tightness that might have settled in. All right, let's hug both knees into chest. Let's do a couple more things here. How about happy baby pose? Okay, just opening up through the legs, getting a stretch in the inner thighs. Now, in one version of happy baby I like to do is this one, just like this. I just took the legs wide. My feet are just, they're still parallel with my knees. Okay, just like this. You could take the feet up into the air, like so. Okay, this certainly is the posture. But for a variation, and it works best or works great for soft flow, you don't have to hold on to the feet. You can just do the hip opening part. Just a few breaths here. I like to add a very gentle movement. I'm just rocking left and right. Breathing, of course. Let that be the main focus. Whatever pose you're in, especially when you're stretching or you've got sensation somewhere, make sure you're accompanying that movement or extension or stretch with breath. Okay, now let's bring the soles of the feet together so they touch. Set the feet onto the floor, knees opened for reclining bound angle pose or reclining cobbler's pose. If you need to or want to, you can certainly tuck something underneath. I can't really reach my blocks at the moment, but you can certainly tuck something underneath the knees and legs so they don't feel like they're being pulled open, but they're relaxed open. Hopefully you can notice the difference. Few more breaths. Getting closer to the end of our practice, we want to kind of wind things down. Did a lot today in our extensions and inversions class. All right, let's bring the knees together. Give yourself another hug. Let's finish with a twist. So let's take both knees over to the left side. Right arm extends out to the right side. Certainly use props over here on the legs in case you need a little extra support. Hold your twist for several breaths. Some release, perhaps in the low back, hips, right along the entire spine, perhaps. I typically just look straight up when I'm in this twist, but if you want to add a little bit more to the twist, since the knees are going to the left, and you're kind of getting this twisty sensation through the spine, what you may want to do is actually turn your head to the right. So look out towards your right hand. So you kind of get this kind of this spiraling effect up the spine. Three more breaths. And then just make your way back to center. You may want to pause in center so everything realigns, especially that spiraled spine. You want to get it back to its more lengthened. And then when you're ready, go ahead and take the knees over to the right side. Left arm to the left. Perfectly fine just to keep your gaze upward and keep the neck neutral. But if you want to just add that little extra twist, you might even just turn your head to the left. If that feels like it's a strain, because it might be, it could potentially be a strain on the neck. You don't have to hold it very long, or certainly don't have to do it at all. Continue to focus on your breathing. And 2 more breaths. When you're ready, carefully return to center, hug both knees in, take a breath or two, just allowing the body to realign. Let's go ahead and extend the body completely. One more time, legs out front, arms behind you, reach, extend. You might take a full breath in, imagine you're filling yourself up, just fill up that balloon. And when you exhale, just melt, deflate the balloon. Your arms can come down by your side. Everything completely relaxes. You might even feel your feet just kind of fall open naturally. The legs will turn outward a bit. That will open the hips and release the hips. Everything starts to melt into the mat. If you need something a little softer underneath you, maybe you've placed a blanket underneath you. If your body's a little cool, maybe you put the blanket on top of you. That's perfect. Shoulders and your upper back is relaxed. Arms and hands. Eyes can stay opened, just gazing upward, but not really looking at anything. Or close your eyes. Just continue to tune into the breath. Here's where you might just turn up the volume of the breath just a little bit and let that be your focal point. Continue to focus on your breathing. And remember, you can stay here as long as you'd like. Even as I end the practice and come to seated, you're certainly welcome to stay just as you are right here. When you are ready to move, start with breath, just giving a little bit more life and energy to the breath. And take 5 slow, steady breaths. Feeling movement gradually return to your body. And after your 5th breath, starting to move, but very slowly. You might bend your knees, feet on the ground. Carefully roll to either side. And use your hands and a breath to help lift yourself up. Bring in a nice soft pillow or blanket to sit on. Sitting up as tall as you can, nice extended spine. Shoulders and arms relax down by your side. And then one more movement together. Let's inhale, extend the arms out and up, reaching one last extension. Exhale, bring your palms together and down to your heart. Take one more breath in and out. And as we come to the close of this portion of our journey together, we bow saying, Namaste.